So this weekend, the Lego Ninjago movie has hit theaters, so we now have 3 different theatrically released Lego movies. Now granted, there's a lot more Lego movies that have gone straight to video, they're on Netflix, there's a bunch of Lego TV shows, but when it comes to theatrically released Lego movies, we've got 3 of them, and that means it's time to rank the Lego movies. So without further delay, let's start talking about it. Go ahead and put your rankings down below in the comment section, which order you put them in. Also, if there's one of the direct-to-video ones that you love, go ahead, you can throw it in there too. We can get some conversation going, and let me know what series you want me to rank in the future, and hopefully I can make that happen. So, starting off, let's look at how Rotten Tomatoes has ranked the Lego movies. Coming in 3rd place is the Lego Ninjago movie with 53%, so actually rotten on that one. Jumping up from there, we've got the Lego Batman movie, or as my son calls it, Lego Batman 4 because of the video games, at 91%, so huge jump up. And it's not like Lego Ninjago had a terrible score, it just wasn't fresh. But 91% for the Lego Batman movie. It's in 2nd place, but coming in 1st place is the Lego movie with 96%. Now, you gotta let it sink in for a little bit. That 96%, that's Pixar numbers. That's like really good Pixar movies right up there. When you're talking 96%, that is a great score. That means not that it's a bunch of critics said it was the best movie of the year, but almost universally critics said thumbs up, I recommend this movie. That's what it means. 96% of critics recommend it. That's what Rotten Tomatoes means. So that is a very impressive score at 96%. Then over on my Twitter page, before I do each of these ranking videos, I put a poll up and ask you guys for your input on the different movies I'm going to rank. Here's how you guys rank them. I asked, which is the best Lego movie? Coming in 3rd place is Lego Ninjago with 6%. Woo! Then right up for there, number 1 and number 2 are tied. So I guess that means we got one person that said Lego Ninjago is the best, and then 8 people for both the Lego movie and the Lego Batman movie. So that's pretty interesting that they're tied like that. And it doesn't surprise me. Lego Batman had a certain charm to it, and then the Lego movie had a strong charm to it. And Ninjago just came out, so probably not as many people have seen it to give their input on it. We've only got 17 people, so this isn't exactly science right here. With that said, let's go into my ranking of the Lego movies. Coming in at number 3 is going to be the Lego Ninjago movie, the one that just came out, the one that I went to go see, just got out of it about 30 minutes ago, drove home, and here we are talking about it. So this one, it has the frantic energy, it has the humor, it has the music that's made all of the Lego movies a ton of fun, very enjoyable. A bunch of things about it I really liked, but my big concern going into it, back from when I saw the very first trailer for it, is I don't think that this main plot line that they're working on with the father's son and the dad's the supervillain and the son's the hero, I don't think it's going to have the emotional payoff that the other movies have had, where the Lego movies tend to have this frantic, wild energy to them, but then they have a very clear central premise that they're exploring and a very clear relational dynamic with their lead character that's kind of being unfolded and looked into throughout the movie. And then the movie gives you kind of an answer in the 3rd act with some of these things and some emotional revelation. When your plot line is that you're trying to do that with a supervillain that's actually super evil and trying to destroy the city and abandon his son, in the course of one movie, you're probably not going to be able to give us enough backstory to justify this behavior that's going to win me over to his side. And that was the case. I was watching it being like, I know what you're trying to do. I just don't think it works. You can't pull off what you did before, the emotional magic that worked in the previous films. But like I said, it's still fun. It's still funny. Jackie Chan is, of course, great. There's some cool action in it. The star of the movie, or the breakout star of the movie, of course, is the cat. But the central plot line of it starts to meander right around the halfway point. I mean, as soon as they're on this journey together and the 2 groups come together with Garmadon on his soul searching, it just kind of lost a lot of its energy for me, and that stuff did not work as well as what came before, and it didn't work as well as what came in necessarily the 3rd act to some extent. And so that whole middle act really kind of dragged it down for me. Lots of positives, some negatives in there, and I'm not I don't know how to describe my relationship. Well, I know how to describe my relationship with Lego Ninjago, the TV show. My son watches it all the time. So he was super pumped about it. I'm supposed to be at a film festival right now, actually. But I promised him we were going to go see it, and the two overlapped. So I was like, all right, I can, avoid watching a couple existential foreign films for a couple hours and see Lego Ninjago with my son. And so he, of course, loved it. And so I've seen the pieces. I've seen it all out of order. The father-son dynamic, that's the TV show. That's kind of what's going on there. But I just don't think it worked. And they picked source material that I don't think they can take the formula that worked for the first two and deliver the same results that worked with Lego Batman and the Lego Movie. So for me, it comes in at third place. I'd still probably give it like a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10 is probably, I'd still say I recommend it. It's an enjoyable enough time. It's just not great. It's good. It's good. Coming in at number 2 is going to be the Lego Batman movie. And there'd be a pretty significant jump up in the quality on this one. And so naturally, you got Batman, Will Arnett as Batman in the Lego Movie. It was one of the great parts of that. And so he got his own movie. Some of us were a little bit nervous how that's going to work with the Lego frantic energy. And they pulled it off. They found the right way to bring all the elements together and still kind of bring in all these other characters into the world. And the songs, the music, they still did all that fun stuff. And so it was just kind of a ton of fun. And what they did in this movie that they didn't do so well in Ninjago is they found that central premise of the character and what makes them broken and explored it. And so with Bruce Wayne, that's kind of easy to find what's not right about this guy. Oh yeah, his parents died and he's this loner. And kind of exploring the psychology of that, it worked. It really worked. That was true to Batman, or at least an exploration of the Batman character, while being a fun Lego movie and fitting the template that they'd used previously on the Lego Movie. So all in all, a ton of fun, some great cameos, great voice actors that they brought in for all these different characters in the spectrum of things. If I were to go on the negative on this one, it gets so frantic at times, it gets so chaotic that it loses me a little bit. I can't keep up with it, the energy of it. It's kind of exhausting to watch this movie, whereas Lego Ninjago, I didn't feel kind of like worn out watching it. The number 1 and 2 on this list, I actually feel tired after watching it. But just especially when about the halfway point when the Phantom Zone is unleashed and it's just so much stuff happening, so much plot going on. It's a bit overwhelming for me, but all in all, a ton of fun, a heart at the center of it, and just the only problem, a little bit too much for me. I'd give this one like somewhere between an 8 and an 8.5 is where I rated it earlier in the year. So that means coming in at number 1 for me is going to be the Lego Movie. This movie, like its lead character, was an underdog in that when many of us heard about they're doing a Lego Movie, we went, oh dear, that's a bad idea. That's a stupid idea to do a Lego Movie. Please don't make this be bad. And then it came out and it was so pleasant. It was the year the Pratt rose. He's the voice of the lead character, and I'm blanking on it at the moment. And of course, gave that lovable doofus performance that he does so well. It was funny. It invented this Lego format with the frantic energy, with a heart at the core of it, exploring an idea inside of it, and also an exploration of the way that we deal with toys, and specifically Legos, and the way we grow up, and that changes. And that, even in the years since the movie came out, and it's been 3.5 years since the movie came out, even for me, that has changed, because when the movie first came out, my son was 2. Jump forward, he's now 3, almost 6. And in that time, he started playing a lot more with Legos. And so he watches Lego Ninjago, he plays the Lego Batman games, and while he's watching TV, he's building things with Legos. And as soon as I buy him stuff, I want to build it just right. I want to build it like the thing it's supposed to be. And then he starts taking it apart, and I'm like, no, stop. It's supposed to be like this. And this happened, and I went, I'm Will Ferrell in the Lego Movie. I've turned into him. It's true. This movie actually seems to understand the human experience in the creative energy of children and the ways adults we can squash that a little bit, and how we lose some of that and how we should celebrate that. So many kind of cool things that were woven into this movie. And just at the center core of it, it's kind of like a Matrix type movie. And I love the Matrix. It's a kid's version of the Matrix with Legos. That's a fun idea. Once again, a ton of great cameos, whether you got Will Arnett's Batman, we got a little Star Wars coming in there, all this fun stuff coming together in one movie that was such a pleasant surprise. It was an underdog I thought was going to be terrible, turned out to be great. I'm a big fan of this movie. I'd go an 8.5, a 9 on it, somewhere in that kind of ballpark. A lot of fun. Once again, it's too frantic for me. It does tire me, and so it's not a movie that I rewatch all the time. It's one that when I watch it, I'm tired afterwards, but I appreciate that I watched it. I'm so glad a movie like this exists. I'm so glad this whole series exists. It's a nice, fun new thing to do with animated movies, all of them with great animation. So that's my take on it. How about you? Tell me down below in the comment section. Let's get our rankings. Tell me if you watched some of the TV shows too, or some of the other not special features, but direct-to-video stuff that they've done. They've done a Jurassic World one. They've done tons of Star Wars stuff. They've gotten standalone series. Let me know your thoughts on it. I know some of you guys have actually messaged me about some of those other shows, and I actually have watched a lot of them because I have a son. With all that said, if you're new to my channel, please consider clicking that subscribe button. I do movie reviews, ranking videos, TV show reviews. A lot more of those are coming these days because TV season has kicked back up. But I don't want to just talk about movies. I want to talk about movies with you. So consider clicking that subscribe button, commenting down below, get some lively discussion going on, and thank you so much for watching.